All right, do we have Sam now? Yay! Welcome, everybody. My apologies. Mercury retrograde. Welcome, Sandra. As we're doing all 12 signs tonight, the week of March 8th through the 14th. I am going to touch on the astrology a little bit. We do have some pretty big transits coming into play this week that I do feel will show up in the readings tonight. So I'm going to go over those really quickly. Thank you. Thank you, ladies. I just happened to look up TikTok. TikTok told me, it was like, hey, no sound. But it looks like we're all good everywhere. All right. All right, let me grab my notes really quickly. Guys, we have a pretty big conjunction happening at the very beginning of the week, March 8th. Please remember, we're always a week ahead. And yes, we are multi streaming tonight. We're on 4 platforms, guys: YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and TikTok, all at the same time. Woohoo, look at us go. All right, so March 8th starts out the week, March 8th through 14th, and we're starting out pretty big with Venus and Saturn having a conjunction right there in Aries. This is really about those of you that are in relationships, maybe even new relationships. This is really an opportunity where you're going to decide if you want to make this a serious relationship. This is also like recommitment for those of you that are already in serious relationships. And for those of you that are single, like me, and focusing on your spiritual growth, right? We're going to be focusing on finances with Venus conjunct Saturn in Aries. So get ready just to face those things, whether in relationship or finances, that you've kind of been putting on the back burner, right? All right. Also on the 10th, my favorite, we have Jupiter going direct in Cancer. Guys, Jupiter going direct is very much, here comes the karma, right? Every time I'm studying this energy for Jupiter and Cancer, it's hilarious because I feel like I'm hearing that "Here Comes the Boom" song. You know what I'm talking about? And that's really, I mean, that's exactly what's going to here comes the boom. And if you've been putting, you know, good, positive energy out into the universe, then that's exactly what you're going to receive. And if you've been selfish and not doing the things, then you might want to prepare yourself for some boomerang karma with Jupiter going direct, right? And then let's also talk about Mars and Mercury. Mars and Mercury are both in Pisces right now. Mercury is retrograde in Pisces. So that energy is causing a lot of frustration and confusion. And I feel like I've talked to a lot of you individually in your private readings, specifically about this energy, just trying to figure out why you feel so off or why you feel so frustrated. I'm using the word frustration in a very mild and gentle way because for a lot of us, this is very rageful energy, very rageful energy. So a lot of us are feeling this peak of Mars energy, and the peak of Mars is rage. And we're very much having to rely on our spiritual awakening, the lessons that we've learned. We're very much having to rely on the centering and the grounding as we work through these very challenging energies, right? All right, so guys, I'm going to break down all 12 signs. I've pulled out several different sets of oracle cards tonight. I couldn't make up my mind, and Spirit said we couldn't use all of them. I want to show you guys my fancy nails. This is the one and done situation. But can you see the little bows on there? How cute is that? All right, so that's it. Let's get started with Aries first. I do have music playing in the background, so let me know, ladies. Can you hear music? I don't want to get in trouble. We do want to monetize tonight's live. But I get so frustrated trying to play. Trying to read tarot and not be able to have any music playing in the background. It's very frustrating. Are we still having sound issues on Facebook? Let me see if I can turn it up. How's that? Is that a little better sound? Can't hear music? Good, good, good. Uh-oh. I turned the mic up a little bit. I wasn't sure. I think Vanessa was saying the sound. Oh, you can't really hear the music. I'm silly. I'll stop talking. All right. All right. Let me know if it's still cutting in and out. We do have it. We're using the streaming camera mic tonight. Hi, Starlova. And like I said, we did have some storms coming through, so the internet could be shaky. I'm going to try to talk slow, not rush through them. So just let me know in the chat if it starts to break out. We can always pause. All right, I got Angel Inspiration by Kim Dreyer. This is what we're going to use for our main energy of the week. Sandra gifted me these Vintage Wisdom Oracle. We're going to use these for the main spread. I've pulled out the Soul's Journey. I believe Sandra gifted me these as well, by James Van Prague. This is going to be our guidance. And of course, we'll close it out with the Moonology, just like always. And it must be Sandra night because I pulled out the Divine Wisdom Tarot. That's it, right? Is that what it's called? I have brain fart. Elemental Wisdom. Elemental Wisdom. All right, sweet, sweet. Okay, let's get started. Angel Inspiration by Kim Dreyer was gifted to me by Miss L. I like to pull these out when I'm trying to call her in. All right, Elemental Wisdom. Yes, that's it. Okay, there's something this week about slowing down when we want to speed up. The Mars energy, the frustration and confusion makes us want to get through it quickly. Mars is Aries energy, and Aries energy struggles to like stop and think and process things through. It just wants to go and then like think about the things later, right? So when we're dealing with things like Venus and Saturn conjunct, those are two planets that are like very much, you have to stop, you have to focus, you have to pay attention. You definitely could miss out on opportunities in love or money if you're trying to rush through something. Also, retrograde are words. This has been very challenging for me because I just want to cuss everybody out. I'm just being honest. I got all of Aries energy in me, and it's just, it's very frustrating energy right now. I have my middle son is in the military, so everything that's happening in the world causes me great frustration and a great confusion, anger, rage, a lot of rage. And so I'm not the only one dealing with this energy, right? So we're all processing this energy, and we're not going to be able to process this energy by just ignoring it and pushing through, right? Like that stuff is done. This new energy that has come in, this new cosmic energy of this new cycle that has started in the cosmos is not allowing us to any longer sweep things under the rug. Authenticity is the name of the game, right? So masks are off and we're being our true selves, and we can no longer hide the emotions, right? So we're having to learn how to process those emotions, how to you know heal through them, integrate, and work through whatever it is. And that for me has been one of the more challenging things this week, because again, I am the Aries and I just want to go, 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 right? Like I don't want to deal with this crap. And Aries is like, we don't want to have feelings. We have feelings, but we don't want to admit that we have feelings, right? Like that's Aries. So this week, regardless of whether you're Aries or where Aries lies on your chart for you, everybody is being asked to just slow down, stop, process, and face whatever the scary thing is, right? So that's really what's happening. And the cool thing is about whatever the scary thing is, whether it's love for you or it's money for you, because remember, Venus does both, and this Venus and Saturn conjunction is what I'm talking about now, is this week is it's a good outcome. So we're facing like financial hardships that we've been running from, or we're facing like love that we've been running from, or we're facing like commitment that we've been running from. You see what I'm saying? And then whatever the scary thing is we've been running from, when we face it once the conjunction happens, it turns into this beautiful thing that works out in our favor, right? Remember, everything is always working out for your greater good, but sometimes we see things and we're like, oh, that shit's scary. So we sweep it under the rug. We don't deal with it. And then we miss out on opportunities. So all the cosmic influences that are happening this week are causing us to face those energies so that we no longer miss out on those opportunities. Does that make sense? All right, let's get started with Aries. Let's timestamp 14. Let's wait for it. Let's do an even 15 for Aries. All right, Aries, we're looking at March 8th through the 14th, and we're going to start out with the angel intentions. Who's going to be your energy of the week? We have Universal Heart. It's number 24. It's giving strong twin flame vibes. We have Nurture Your Dreams on the bottom. Nurture your dreams is that energy where you've planted a seed and now it's time for you to focus on the growth. It's like the more energy you put towards it, the better it gets, Aries. All right, let's look at what is the challenge or obstacle for Aries with Universal Heart. Universal Heart is going to be about unconditional love. It's going to be about oneness, all of those types of things. So I talked about right before your reading, Aries, the frustration that we're dealing with Mars and Pisces and Mercury retrograde happening in Pisces. A lot of Aries energy is the Mars energy is aggressive. It's passionate, of course, but it's also the warrior planet, so it's very aggressive. And right now, that aggression for some could definitely be turning into rage, and you're having to learn how to process and heal from that energy. Look at pure coming out as your challenge or obstacle. So it's like having to work through that rage. You can't just ignore it. You can't just sweep it under the rug. You just can't pretend like you don't feel it. You see what I'm saying? All right, let's look at lesson learned to help you with that challenge or obstacle. We have expression, so getting it out. And then we have intention coming out for your potential outcome. Wisdom is on the bottom. Look at Aries growing. All right. This is giving old soul Aries. This is not giving, immature Aries. This is giving I've suffered enough, learned from my mistakes, and giving myself a clean slate. All right, let's clarify a little bit. Purity. We have the 8 of coins. Work. This could have something to do with your work, Aries. You could be frustrated when it comes to your finances, of course. That is going to be that Venus and Saturn conjunction as well. But this could also say something about your focus. So here's another lesson that I've been getting myself in my own journey. It very much is that um, why would you do that? Sorry, distraction. It very much is that um, where your energy goes, where your focus goes, energy flows, right? It's giving that energy. And that has been the lesson that I feel like I've been having to focus on this week is, am I focusing on the negativity? Am I focusing on things I can't control? Am I focusing on the things that I have gratitude for? You see what I'm trying to say? So it really depends on where you're sending your energy, where your focus is going. All right, for expression, we have Three of Swords. So this is something that's going to help you heal. And I think it's just speaking your truth. That's going to be expression. There's something that it's like you're finally saying it out loud. With intention, we have Knight of Wands. So this is about passionate energy. So Aries, this is going to be about learning how to transmute that Mars confusion and frustration, aggressive energy, and for some of us, again, maybe even rageful energy at this time. And we're really learning how to turn that rage into passion, right? So, for example, if you're a mom of a military member like me, and you're experiencing a lot of this energy, it is more helpful for us to find something that we're passionate about, like for example, care packages and letters and things like this, instead of just sitting here being rageful and mad and angry at the world, right? So that's kind of what I'm picking up here for Aries. All right, the soul's journey. Let's pull a guidance card. Courage card comes out. I find the inner strength to face fear with confidence. So big confirmation. And here's another thing. Um, if you're like me and you're finding yourself with this Aries frustrated, anger, maybe even rageful energy, I will say this. Are you ready? And don't shoot the messenger, Aries. But the reason that the confusion, the frustration turns into anger, and the anger turns into rage. Are you ready? Is going to be fear. It's going to be fear, right? If I didn't have fear of whatever my fears are with my own family, my own situation, um, then that the energy wouldn't turn into anger and rage. Does that make sense? So the more fear you have, the more rage you have. And here's the next thing: you can't have faith and fear at the same time. I know that's a really hard thing for people to hear, especially right now, the state of the world, but that is a factual statement. If you have faith, then you have nothing to fear. So, courage is definitely going to be key for Aries the week March 8th through the 14th. All right, let's pull Queen of the Moon to close it out for Aries. This is going to help with your thoughts and emotions. I do feel like it's going to be an emotional week. Emotions are running high, comes out right away. Let's get one more. Your commitment is being tested. First quarter moon. All right, Aries, I'm going to leave it right there. I hope that reading was helpful. All right, I'm going to clean up really quickly and we're going to move on to Leo. The processing of the emotions is no joke. I feel like for the most part, we've just gotten away with ignoring things or pretending like it wasn't a problem. And I think we're all in the like day and time of understanding that when we ignore these feelings and these emotions, they just fester into disease and illness and all of that mess, right? All right, time for Leo. I don't know who sent the hearts over there, but thank you, thank you. All right, let's timestamp Leo. Let's do 2404 for Leo. And remember, this is going to be for March 8th through the 14th. Guys, we're always a week ahead. Several cosmic influences this week, so let's see how the energy plays out for Leo. I'm going to start with your energy of the week. You have harmony. It's number 43. It's giving some strong Libra energy. It is about peace and balance, but I'm seeing those Libra scales, kind of like the scales of justice type of energy. All right, Leo, let's pull out the element, vintage wisdom. So many tonight. Transition comes out. Challenge or obstacle. Lesson learned is listening. Potential outcome is balance. Look at that. Remember I said I saw the scales of balance, scales of justice, Libra energy. Libra is balance. I'm not sure, Leo, you could be dealing with a Libra, or this Libra is the natural ruler of the 7th house. So this could have something to do with relationships for you, Leo. Okay, so remember, I never tell you guys that these are for your sun, moon, or rising, because I understand that we have all the pieces of the pie. And what I recommend you doing is that you pull your birth chart out and then you correlate the readings with that area of your life. So for example, Leo is my 2nd house, right? And 2nd house is all about money, value, assets, the things you own. So for example, we don't own people, so we're not going to be talking about relationships in my birth chart for 2nd house assets. But could it be possible that the reading is talking about my relationship with money? You see what I'm saying? So that you would correlate that reading. But for some of you, this could be about a person, Leo, and it could be about a Libra. Now, with transition in your challenges or obstacle, it tells me it's giving me a little Scorpio energy here, a little bit like going through a transformation. Again, it's like an old cycle closing out. You could be waiting for something, Leo, and it's like it hasn't quite started, but you know it's on its way, right? For me, guys, it's my home. My home, my home is on its way. I can't wait. When we get it all set up and all the things, I can't wait to take the camera and hit the live button and take you guys on the tour, right? And show you our new safe space, right? And it's almost time. It is definitely almost time. It's so close that it's making me anxious and nervous. So definitely going through some transition where something you know is coming isn't quite here yet. You're having to sit. That's why the listening card is in your lesson learned to help you with a challenge or obstacle, because you're having to like sit, be patient, wait on something, listen for spiritual guidance, right? But I will say that it most likely is bringing you the balance that you've been needing. Because if you're anything like me, I was really, really anxious until spirit was like, hey, just calm down. You know what I mean? It was like I had to have faith that whatever I needed or wanted is coming and on its way, right? All right, Leo, let's clarify a little bit. Let's pull some elemental wisdom. Let's see what we get for a transition. What is the cycle that is closing for Leo? Ten of Swords comes out. It's a completion, a painful completion. It's a completion to a painful time in your life, Leo. Two of Cups comes out, listening. This is partnership energy coming together. Again, for some of you, this could be about a relationship. And the Strength card is here for balance. Remember, we saw that Wisdom card on the bottom. It does give this energy like you've pulled from some inner strength as you persevered and pushed through something that maybe took quite some time to arrive. I do feel that it has taught you some lesson in balance, peace, maybe even peace of mind. All right, let's pull a guidance card for Leo. I just want to point out that the Strength card is Leo energy. We have honesty. I can't always expect the truth from others, but I can expect it from myself. That's pretty interesting. Adversity on the bottom. Here it is, Leo. I accept the challenges. That challenges are the best way to learn. Biggest confirmation of the night so far. All right, I'm going to leave that not there because we're going to pull Moonology to close it out. Because I like to close the readings out with Moonology because this helps with your thoughts and emotions. If you guys have the Moonology Oracle and you're struggling or frustrated with your own thoughts and emotions, I definitely recommend pulling a Moonology Oracle for yourself. A personal issue reaches resolution, full moon in Cancer. That's big confirmation of that 10 of Swords. All right, I'm going to leave it right there, Leo. I hope that reading was helpful. Guys, make sure you're tapping that like button for me. I'm going to clean up really quickly. We're going to move on to Sagittarius. I see all the twos. And twos have been my number. You know how it's normally threes? Apparently it's twos this week. All right, Sagittarius. Performance pressure. I can see how that works for me. Performance pressure. You are being asked to. Okay, I'm going to use myself as an example again. Sagittarius, you could be okay. So Sagittarius is my moon sign. Right now, it's my emotions. Right now, it's my anger. We talked about it with Aries reading, the frustration, the confusion. Aries, Mars, in Pisces with Mercury retrograde. A lot of Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising are dealing with a lot of aggressive energy. We're just kind of tired of this shit type of energy, right? So for me, it's keeping my emotions in check. When I am like in the spotlight, for example, in my lives, I can't come out here and be like cussing and telling you what I really think about the president because that's not very professional. You know what I mean? Um, I can't go to my job, you know what I'm saying, and be like, oh my gosh, I can't stand this moron sending our sons and daughters and all our family members off to places they shouldn't be. And so it's been very frustrating for me. So Sagittarius, performance pressure. You're being put in the spotlight and you're feeling pressured to it's not just perform, you're being pressured to maintain control. It's like a leadership. You're being pressured to show others how to work with the frustrating energy. There, that. All right. Tongue twister, right? Okay, 35, because I seen it for Sagittarius. This is going to be March 8th through the 14th. Big cosmic influence, Venus and Saturn, and Jupiter going direct. So for Sagittarius, this is definitely Jupiter going direct because Jupiter is the ruler of Sagittarius. And it definitely could be your karma. Performance pressure is the message that I got when we started your reading. And courage comes out strong. There's a lot of Aries, Mars energy here as well. And I picked up that Mars energy because I picked up again, performance pressure. So again, having to dig deep to find some type of inner courage. Friendship is on the bottom, so it could say that you could rely on some friendships, but I do see the mirror here, so you could be doing some inner reflection as well. All right, Sagittarius, let's do main spread, challenge or obstacle. We have the trust card coming out. How interesting that we're doing Sagittarius. And she's sitting on this deer. She's got these wings behind her, and then the deer's antlers connect to the wings. So it almost looks, I thought it was, how Sagittarius has the bow and arrow? All right, so trusting that things will work out or that you will do things right or properly. All right, is going to be your challenge or obstacle. We do have the truth card coming out, and I'm finding it very interesting. There's like a head-to-head energy, almost like a little bit of a face-off here. This is lesson learned, so it's like you know that the truth is on your side type of energy, Sagittarius. And potential outcome. We do have union. How interesting. Look at this. This is definitely a coming together. Dreams is on the bottom for Sagittarius. I think that you're fearful of some type of I don't know if it's like conflict. I don't know if it's just a challenge. I don't know if it's like just an obstacle, but you're fearful of it. I think you have more help and more support than you realize. And I believe that that help and support will allow you to be successful. All right, let's pull some clarifiers. Let's look at that trust card. We have Knight of Cups, being control of your emotions. So I talked about that at the beginning. Queen of Wands, this is being confident in your own actions and your own abilities. And then with the Union card, we do have a Tower. So I do feel there is some type of surprise. Towers do not necessarily have to be bad, okay? We have Page of Swords on the bottom. Towers are shock, surprise. Think you have more backup than you realize, Sagittarius, and they come into play. They come in to support, to back you up. And I think that they are going to be people that remember I said I felt this energy of like leadership. So you're mentoring somebody, someone's looking up to you. They want to know more. How do you do it? How do you get through that type of energy? All right, let's pull some guidance for Sagittarius. 2 cards come out right away. Indecision. I use my intuition in all aspects of life. And look at this. Perseverance. I know that I can do whatever I set my mind to. Absolutely you can. All right, Sagittarius, let's pull Moonology. I do feel like you're overthinking something. You're going to handle the situation just fine. A time to give rather than take. And on the bottom, surrender to the divine. It's the full moon. Guys, we just had that full moon. That energy is still very, very strong. On the bottom, hold your vision. It's the fixed moon. All right, Cherry, so I'm going to leave it right there. I hope that reading was helpful. It's like we got to keep our cool. Keep it together a little bit longer. Our level says 2 is always my number. I love that. Mine is definitely mostly 3. So whenever I see it, you know what I'm saying? Like I see it change, or I start seeing another number more often, I definitely start paying attention because it's like, something's going on, right? All right, guys, it's time for the water signs. For those of you that are dealing with that Mars, Aries, frustration, music, I think, has been the most helpful for me. Piano music has been helpful. Definitely calms the nervous system, so to speak. All right. Don't mind my squeaky chair. Sorry. Cancer 4222. Just got done saying the 2s were showing up for me. All right, Cancer, this is March 8th through the 14th. We have Mars, we have Venus, we have Saturn, we have Jupiter, and Mercury. All up in the cosmos this week. So let's see how that energy plays out for Cancer. Week of March 8th through the 14th. Number 19, Cherish Innocence comes out. I got this card when I was practicing on my own reading before the live started. Cooperate also comes out. It shows the twin angels. Cherish Innocence. For Cancer, this could have something to do with children. I think for most of you, this is more about magic. Jenna, welcome. Do you see the fairy coming from the light? I don't know if you can see it. Whenever I see that, it makes me think of my mom. So my mom changed her name 100 times, but she changed her name at one point to Shama. In Arabic, if you're seeing correctly, the name meant that the moon had to a flame. And I always found that to be super interesting. There's something that seems magical about this card. There's something that could happen that seems unexpected. Cancer, it's almost like you're focused on, I don't know, some problem. You're focused on like finances, and then all of a sudden there's love. Surprise. It's something very magical, something very unexpected. You weren't looking, didn't see it coming. Maybe you didn't plan for it. Whatever it is, it takes you by surprise. It seems magical, like a gift being given. It seems pure, true, authentic. I don't know what this is, Cancer, but it's got me excited. I'm a Cancer rising. All right, let's look at it. What could be the challenge or obstacle for Cancer? March 8th through the 14th. All right, we have new beginnings. Again, there's a child. We have ancestors. So the new beginnings is the challenge or obstacle. The ancestors is lesson learned to help you with the challenge or obstacle. And then we have the beauty card coming out. Whenever we see the beauty card, it's definitely about being able to see the beauty of a situation, like being able to understand why something had to happen a certain way, being able to alchemize. This is alchemy. And I just want to point out the couple in the ancestors card. And I'm listening to our music and tarot playlist, and MGK Twin Flame is playing. Just came on. Cancer, you could have went through a very specific type of spiritual awakening journey that could have been very emotionally painful. You could feel like you've been dragged through the trenches, and you could finally be seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, like coming out the other side. Understanding why it all had to go that way. Could have something to do with breaking generational curses, especially if this has anything to do with twin flame. All right, let's look at it. New beginnings. You have the Devil card. You could be struggling to break free from karmic ties. Ancestors, we have Eight of Swords, self-restriction. So this is about breaking generational curses. Beauty is going to be alchemy. We have Nine of Wands. Nine of Wands is perseverance. Don't give up now. It's definitely that Mars energy, the aggressive, the pushing through something. Three of Swords is on the bottom. At the very beginning of tonight's live, I talked about how the astrology is not going to, like the cosmos, the energies are no longer going to let us ignore something and push through something. Somebody's dealing with twin flame connection. Someone is still bound in some way, Cancer. And that is what has to heal as you work through this week so that you can experience whatever this magic is that's coming in. Again, I feel like it's going to have something to do with like a person, relationship, love. Surprise, didn't see that coming. All right, let's pull guidance cards. All right, 2 cards come out. Regret. I know that I cannot change the past. Gratitude. I'm thankful for the life and opportunities that it presents. Health on the bottom. Analogy to close it out for Cancer. A time for healing. The Cosmic Moon. Wow. Powerful twin flame reading for Cancer. I'm going to leave it right there. I hope that reading was helpful. I'm not sure what that means. Inner union, right? There has to be inner union. Surely that's what that means. Yeah, super interesting. I no longer know what this like journey consists of. You know what I'm saying? Like I know I used to think it was like, you know, you had to hold space and you waited for somebody to like get their head out of their ass. And then, you know, later you learn that you're not supposed to wait on anybody and it's all about you. And then you learn about like walk-ins and free will and yada yada. So you think it's that, you know what I mean? And then you realize like those people are just, you know, another mirror, another lesson, another whatever, you know what I mean? And it's like not until you finally just stop looking or stop like trying to find something outside of you and you just start giving yourself that love. And it's like you're in a relationship with yourself. You know what I mean? You start like I've started buying myself things. I'm dating anyone. I'm not pouring into anyone else. I'm pouring into myself. And they say, I mean, they say that that's usually when it happens, right, Sandra? All right. Scorpio time. I'll be somebody's best friend if you jump over on TikTok and hit a button over there. Catching the algorithm on TikTok is like trying to catch the thank you, whoever did that. I appreciate you. Is like trying to catch the shorts shelf, is what it feels like. Another thing I noticed on TikTok is we're not getting paid for all the live streams, and I'm not sure why. When we do get paid, it's good pay for sure. But it's not catching all of them, so I'm not sure like what I'm. It's gonna be a setting, I'm sure somewhere. There's a button. All right, Scorpio. Scorpio's had a lot of wins, right? A lot of positivity, a lot of help. It definitely seems like a little bit of a shift. I would say. And for Scorpio, there could be some type of fear of maintaining. In other words, the road has gotten smoother. You're achieving more accomplishments, and now you would like to maintain that flow. There could be some hesitancy as well. It's almost like there's something positive in your in your path, but for some reason you're hesitant to fully look at, fully take it in, to fully even accept that that could be a possibility. All right, let's get started. Scorpio, let's do 5422 for Scorpio. All right. This is March 8th through the 14th. Several cosmic influences. So let's get energy of the week first for Scorpio. I am using the Angel Inspiration Oracle. We have number 33, Love. You have Be Discerning on the bottom. So let's talk about that, because I don't feel like Scorpio, the person that you could be in relationship with, bottom of the deck is overall energy. So overall energy is about being discerning. It doesn't mean that you're not having discernment. It could definitely mean that you're overthinking. It could definitely mean that Scorpio's like, man, something bad happened last time, so it's just going to happen this time too. You see what I'm saying? It's giving that energy. All right. Let's get the main spread out for Scorpio. Let's start with the challenge or obstacle. Flies out on its own. Love. Oh my gosh. Scorpio. Love, love, love. Who are you in love with, Scorpio? Ooh, ooh, ooh. And Come and Get Your Love is playing right now. Truth and Union coming back out. Release is on the bottom. I think what you're releasing is stagnant energy. Anything that causes you not to believe in magic. Do you see the dragonflies? Truth is what's going to set you free. For some of you Scorpios, you could be hiding something. Just get it out. Don't let it fester and turn into something bigger than it needs to be. All right, Seven of Coins comes out. This is waiting a long time for something, and now it's finally here. The Truth card, we have Two of Coins. So there is two in the Truth, and there's two in the Two of Coins. There's too many people, Scorpio. There's too many people. Either too many people involved, too many people telling you what to do, or your energies are being pulled between two different people. The Union card. Let's see, who does Scorpio pick? Which direction does Scorpio go? Look at this. The Five of Swords comes out. High Priestess is on the bottom. There's an inner knowing. Something is happening, Scorpio, that you know is not going to go working out well for you if you continue to pull yourself in too many directions, if you continue to let too many people tell you what to do and what to choose. Union could come, but it could come at a high cost. You may need to remove someone that's trying to pull at your energy. Okay, so let's say I'm talking to a Scorpio and you're in a relationship. And then you have, I don't know, an ex who is constantly causing some type of situation in your new relationship. That's what this is giving. And it's like some type of harsh conversation needs to be had because you need to choose what's best for you. And what's best for you, Scorpio, is love. And you've waited too long for something. You waited too long. Genesis flame is Scorpio rising. Health card comes back out. I will honor the physical vessel that enshrines my soul. The peace card comes out. I am a being of love and I release all negative energy. For some of you Scorpios, this is just a belief that you can't have love or that love isn't for you or that that time in your life is long gone. All of that nonsense. It's just a belief. Does it mean it's true? It could be something you believed for a long time, but doesn't mean it's true. It does seem like Venus and Saturn coming together in Aries is bringing a lot of love into the zodiac signs that seems very unexpected, right? The end of a tough cycle approaches. Full moon in Capricorn. Show the world the real you. Full moon in Aquarius on the bottom. All right, Scorpio, I'm going to leave it right there. I hope that reading was helpful. Show the world the real you. For some of you Scorpios, that's the truth that needs to be released, is you're wearing a mask because you're afraid of showing the person who you really are. Stop doing that, Scorpio. Stop doing that. Scorpio always thinks they're more mysterious than they actually are. All right, Pisces. There's a lot going on in Pisces, right? Let's timestamp. Let's do 101.21 for Pisces. And this is going to be for the week of March 8th through the 14th. I'm going to start out with Angel Inspiration. We have the Withdraw card coming out. We also have the Faith card coming out. I'm going to take both of them. 9, 9. Pisces, you could be starting to feel like you're losing faith in something that could be causing you to withdraw. 939. One, look that up as an angel number, but two, the 9s are completion. You're wrapping something up. You're at the end of a cycle and you're waiting for the new cycle to start and you can't see it yet. That could be why you're starting to lose faith. All right, challenge or obstacle, we have reflection. Lesson learned, we have hope. Look at that. And then potential outcome, we have power. Bottom of the deck, we have abundance. That's what you're waiting for, Pisces. some type of abundance. Whatever this is, it's going to get you out of something. See how the withdrawal card, you're in this cave? You could feel like, some of you feel like you're being buried under something. It could be debt. Some of you could be waiting for, I mean, it's tax time, right? My son is a Pisces. I know he's waiting for his tax return. But you know what I mean? Like, it could be something like that. Like, it's something that's going to give you some type of freedom. It's something that's going to make you feel like you're regaining some type of power. All right, let's pull some tarot. Let's look at reflection. We have Ace of Coins, big confirmation. We have the Eight of Cups coming out for hope. It did come out in reverse. Again, I feel like you're starting to lose hope in a situation. Eight of Cups is like walking away from something. Again, this is giving this energy like, don't give up now. You're too close to quit. Whatever it is almost here. Six of Cups is here. Six of Cups is balance. For some of you, this could be reunion. You're waiting for someone to come back. For some of you, this is the balance that you need to escape something that has you buried. You have grief. I understand that losing something is an opportunity to appreciate it. Success on the bottom. I know that there is no greater goal than to love. All right, Moonology to close it out for Pisces. You and your loved ones are safe. New Moon in Cancer. Whenever I see this card, I get the feeling that there's some situation with like your immediate family, your children, that type of thing. So whenever we see this card, it's very much Spirit saying that you're going to be okay. And then what do you need to release? The waxing moon. What you need to release is the fear. All right, Pisces, I'm going to leave that right there. I hope that reading was helpful. The person who awakened me was a Scorpio sun and Scorpio rising. Nina, Amber, we're doing all 12 signs tonight. Guys, we are multi-streaming. So tonight we're on 4 different platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and TikTok, all at the same time. Make sure you guys are joining us and following us on all the platforms. I don't know who's sending the hearts over there. Is it you, Vanessa? I love you so much. Thank you. This is by me. That's a lot. We're on Earth signs. Maybe you came in just in time. I'm fixing to do Taurus and then Virgo and then Capricorn. We've already done fire signs and water signs. So if you're looking for those, maybe it'll let you rewind. Guys, don't forget, I will put the timestamps in the description box of my YouTube video immediately following the live stream. All right, it is time for Taurus. Here's what I'm going to say for the earth signs. As I was preparing the cards for the earth signs, I definitely got this energy of like a rumbling, um, like an earthquake, like the ground is shaky. Like you could feel like you're struggling to get your footing right now in this cosmic energy. Remember, Venus and Saturn are conjuncting. Saturn is ruler of Capricorn. We also have Jupiter up there going direct. Mars and Mercury and Pisces in retrograde could be causing some of that frustration and some of that uneasiness feeling. But for Taurus, what I'm getting is like the ground is shaking. She says, I'm a Cancer, Pisces rising, Taurus, and Mars. Oh, interesting. Mars and Taurus. Mars right now in Pisces causing a lot of like frustrating anger issues for a lot of people. All right, let's get started. Let's timestamp Taurus. Let's do 108:48 for Taurus. And again, this is for March 8th through the 14th. So Taurus, the 8th could be significant for you. All right, I'm going to start out energy of the week, angel inspiration. We have honor life cycles, number 28 coming out, Taurus. Happiness is on the bottom. I feel like that's what's shaky for you right now. All right, we have compassion coming out in your challenges or obstacle. Cards are coming out pretty easy. Dreams are lesson learned. Let's get potential outcome. We have 2 cards came out. Change and divine timing. I'm going to take both of them. We have awakening on the bottom. That's why it's so shaky. I'm not saying that you're just now awakening. You could be going through some type of ascension lift surge, like you're getting like a push. Honoring life cycles has something to do. The card itself is talking about old cycles closing out, new cycles beginning. For some of you Taurus, this could have something to do with like maturity, emotional maturity, especially if I'm talking to like a male, masculine energy. But compassion is the challenge or obstacle. I don't think that you're struggling to show others compassion. I think you're struggling to give yourself some type of compassion. Dreams is in your lesson learned because there's something that you want or maybe something you haven't achieved. And I think that it has to do with divine timing. You're being too hard on yourself. Like there's something you feel you should have done more of, Taurus. And it really all had to do with like when spirit says is the right time. Does that make sense? So you could be trying to close something out and hurry up and start something else, and spirit saying, no, you need to spend more time healing, cleansing, purifying. 10 of Wands, releasing burdens that aren't yours. Stop trying to fix other people's problems. 5 Coins comes out. That's what's causing your challenges when it comes to you reaching your own goals. Change and divine timing is here. 2 of Wands, saying like the opportunity is here now, so you're going to have to make some type of important decision. And for some of you Tauruses, the 2 of Wands sometimes represents like movement, like actually going somewhere. 5 of Swords is on the bottom. You could be having some fears or negative thoughts when it comes to whatever this change is for you, Taurus. All right, let's pull some guidance. Soul's Journey, the trust card stands out on its own. I accept that my inner voice will always guide me correctly. All right, let's do Moonology to close it out with Taurus. This is going to help us with thoughts and emotions. Like you think that you're overthinking something. It's like something's going to happen regardless. A new start is coming, new moon. That's most likely what's going to happen regardless. And look at this one, my absolute favorite, believe in the impossible. It is the blue moon. We do have a blue moon in 2026, guys. We'll definitely talk more about it as it gets closer. All right, that's going to be it. I hope that reading was helpful. Taurus, if you're getting pulled at your heartstrings, make sure to tap that like button for me. On Mars, right? I mean, yes. I would correlate that reading with that energy, yes. Taurus is my 11th house. So this is about my community, my friends, that type of energy. But yes, guys, I never come out here and tell people to look at your sun, moon, and rising. I understand that we have all the pieces of the pie. All the planets are on everybody's chart. They all create and make up who we are and the journey that we're on. It's definitely like a map, right? The map of your soul's journey. And guys, I do offer birth chart interpretation. So if you've ever wanted to dive deeper into your birth charts and understand what they mean, you can find all that information over on my website. All right, it's time for Virgo. My North Node is in Virgo, and Virgo is my 3rd house. So where is Virgo for you guys? Where is it on your chart? What planets do you have in there? So each house on our chart, each little piece of the pie represents a certain area. So Nina on Twitch is asking 11th house, how does it work? Well, each house represents a certain area. So 11th house is your friends and your community. So for me, I'm about to have a new beginning and friends and community, which makes a lot of sense because I am relocating. I am moving. Just rising with Venus. Vanessa, 8th house, but no planets. Vanessa, how do you do with uh, shared resources in your life, inheritances? Do you feel like you don't have any issues with those, or do you feel like it's something that's actually been challenging for you in your life? I don't have any planets in my 8th house either, and I feel like I definitely dealt with some inheritance issues, people stealing my inheritances. I've definitely dealt with shared resources, especially in relationships, men that don't pay bills, you know what I mean? That type of thing. I love it when people are like, you'll hear some astrologers say, oh, well, if you don't have any planets in that house, then you don't have to worry about it. And it's like, no, that is so untrue. It's the complete opposite. If you don't have planets in that house, you better worry about it. You know what I mean? Those planets in each house, you get the energies of those planets. So when you have an empty house and you don't have those energies, then that means that area of your life is more challenging. Make sense? All right, Virgo, let's timestamp. Let's do 11633 for Virgo. And this is going to be for March 8th through March 14th. Several cosmic influences this week: Venus, Saturn, Mars, Mercury retrograde, and Jupiter direct in Cancer. So you have number 38, forgiveness, coming out for your energy of the week. I do see the Archangel Michael card. All right. Virgo, forgiveness of who and what? Or what? Let's pull challenge or obstacle. We have enchantment, discernment, and release. So this is going to be about a belief system. Trust is on the bottom. It's something that you could feel like you're losing faith in. It could be something that you believed in wholeheartedly and now you feel like it's not happening. So maybe you're struggling to continue to believe in it. It's definitely going to have something to do with the enchantment magic. Discernment is going to be your lesson learned. In other words, how many times have you seen things that you couldn't explain, right? It's interesting to me. I'm also seeing see how she's covering her mouth, she's covering her eyes, and she's covering her ears. What's that saying? How's that thing? I never get these right, guys. The see no evil, speak no evil, hear no evil. You know what I'm talking about? Stop saying that you don't believe. You know you do. It may not be happening when you want it to, but stop speaking what you don't want into fruition because you already know at this point, Virgo, that this is how it works. So you're going to have to release the negativity. You're going to have to release the ill-spoken words, especially if any of you Virgos are having challenging conversations with source. Like I'm sensing a Virgo who is very frustrated and then speaking those frustrations with source. And I'm not saying like source, God, whatever spirit, whatever label you can put there for yourself, like loves us unconditionally. I get mad and cuss regularly. Okay. Does that mean that God doesn't love me anymore? No, absolutely not. But does that mean that I'm making my own path or my own journey, my own soul's journey more challenging? Yes, absolutely. Because the BS that I'm screaming and speaking and hollering or whatever because I'm angry is what I'm actually like causing to come into fruition. You see what I'm trying to say? God gives us free will. There's nothing he can do about that. He can't shut us up. I'm sure he wants to on a regular basis, but he can't. You see what I'm saying? So be cautious what it is that you're speaking out into the realms, right? All right, Ace of Wands, fate, destiny. Something is fated for you. It cannot pass you. Seven of Swords is leveling up discernment. Stop speaking so much. Keep some of the information to yourself. Five of Swords, release. This is the negative thoughts. This is what you need to release. This is the clearest reading I have done all night long. All right, Virgo. Guidance. We have the blame card. I accept responsibility for my well-being. Abundance. I'm a limitless being and I can manifest whatever I desire in the physical reality. Do you guys see the confirmations for Virgo? Best reading of the night. Have mercy. All right. Look at the bigger picture. Full moon in Sagittarius and expect powerful changes. New moon eclipse. Ooh. I think that's a timing card. Guys, the next new moon eclipse is going to be, let me pull it up before I say something and I'm wrong. I don't believe, give me just a minute. Okay, so we do have Pisces new moon March 18th. I definitely picked up that Aries new moon April 7th. So I'll drop both of those dates just in case. Virgo, those dates definitely could be important. All right, I'm going to leave it right there. I hope that reading was helpful. You could be manifesting from one new moon to the next. That could be it, definitely. All right, Capricorn is next. All right, Capricorn, let's timestamp 123:23 because I've seen it. And this is going to be for the week of March 8th through March 14th. Several cosmic influences. So let's see how we plays out for Capricorn. Start out energy of the week. We have Step Into the Light, December 26th. Let's see the portal. Be Content is on the bottom. It's definitely energy of be happy with what you have. Step Into the Light is awakening, ascension. You have the awakening card coming out. This is your challenge or obstacle. Surrendering is your challenge. All right, lesson learned is intuition. You're struggling to trust your intuition, and we have surrender, big confirmation. Another easy reading. Here you go. Ready? Capricorn, do you want peace of mind? Are you tired of your mind ruling you? Are you tired of the obsessive thoughts? Are you tired of the negative thoughts? Are you tired of the stagnant energy? If you want that energy to leave, if you want peace of mind, if you want the racing thoughts to stop, if you want the voices to quiet down, if you want to be able to find discernment, you will need to step into the light. You will need to surrender. You will need to look for spirit. You will need to find God. You are definitely having a spiritual awakening. And I feel like something has you maybe even scared. It's probably the lack of control. Surrendering means that you give your control up to spirit and you allow spirit to guide you through your everyday life instead of going out and trying to control everything and everyone. You do reach this point, Capricorn, where you realize that you actually had no control at all. When you finally surrender is when you realize that you never were in control to begin with. The darkness was in control. The racing thoughts was in control. The voices were in control. You see what I'm saying? The anxiety was in control. The depression was in control. The darkness was in control. When you step into the light, you're letting God take control. I feel like I'm talking to Capricorn who is tired of being stuck in the darkness. All right, let's look at why awakening is in your challenges or obstacle. It's the high priestess. It's the not knowing. It's the hermit, intuition, trouble discerning the spiritual influences. And then with surrender, we have Queen of Wands. You need to be more confident in yourself. Spirit chose you for a reason. Spirit chose you because you have the inner strength that it takes. Queen of Wands. Not everybody has that inner strength. Not everybody can persevere. 2 out of 3 major arcanas. Divinely fated energy. Highly spiritual. Highly protected. Connected to source. Forgiveness comes out. I acknowledge that harboring resentments blocks the flow of love. Pride comes out. I love myself and I see myself in everyone. Change comes out. Last one. I understand that nothing can grow or evolve without movement. Get out of the darkness, Capricorn. Don't let pride get in your way. It's full moon in Leo. I'm going to leave it right there. I hope that reading was helpful. All right, guys, I'm going to clean up. We're going to get to the air signs, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. All right, air signs. I know. Did you catch that Capricorn reading? That was pretty good, right? Thank you for the thumbs up, guys. Make sure you're tapping the screen. That's you, TikTok. I feel like if you're going to come in and watch, there's the least you can do. What do they say? Don't be a hater. All right, Gemini. Let's do 129.44. And this is for March 8th through the 14th. Remember, Venus and Saturn conjunct in Aries. Jupiter going direct in Cancer. And Mars in Pisces with Mercury retrograde, causing all kinds of confusion. Let's see how that energy plays out for Gemini. We have Archangel Camille. Ooh, I'm in trouble. Archangel Camille is unconditional love. Harmony is on the bottom. It's about keeping the peace. All right, Gemini, let's look at your challenge or obstacle. Why is Archangel Camille your energy of the week? We have celebration coming out. Innocence coming out. Gratitude coming out. We have wisdom on the bottom. You're angry, Gemini. It could be at a person, a partner who's there, a partner who's no longer there. You're struggling to alchemize what's come from the situation. I do feel that as the week works through, most likely Jupiter in Cancer, it's almost like you find gratitude. With the Innocence card and your lesson learned to help you challenge your obstacle, it's like this energy of no one's at fault. Everything had to happen the way it did for whatever reason. With the wisdom on the bottom of the deck, Gemini, it does tell me that you do alchemize and you do find gratitude. But I do feel you struggling to see someone's innocence. Hanged Man, we need to move from the head space to the heart space. Seven of Wands, innocence. This is guarding. You're guarding yourself. You're putting up walls. Gratitude, we have the High Priestess. You're going to have to tap into the inner knowing. You're going to have to fully invest in something in order to fully understand it or they. I feel like this could be a person for most Geminis. For some of you Geminis, this is about unconditional love and forgiveness for yourself. Moving out of the head space and into the heart space, allowing yourself to let your walls down. But for some of you, this is about a person. They've hurt you before, or you've been hurt before. So you keep the walls up. You may even lash out with that particular Seven of Wands. Guidance, we have imagination. I embrace and nourish creative aspects of my mind. And loneliness. I know that I am never alone. It's interesting, Gemini being the twins. Look at this. Communication is key. New moon and Gemini. Man, if y'all knew how much trouble I'm in. It's time to release negativity. Full moon and Scorpio is on the bottom. All right, I'm going to leave it right there. I hope that reading was helpful. I get the spankings all the time. I swear. It's funny because, 2026 is the year of accountability. Calling people out on their shit has become like a new popular trend, which I'm totally here for. Unfortunately, the week that we're in, because Mars is in Pisces with Mercury retrograde as well, calling people out on their shit and being unconsiderate or not understanding, like this isn't the week for that, right? So I've just been getting in trouble all week because, I enjoy calling people out on their shit. Like that's my thing. All right, Libra is next. It's interesting because I feel like we picked up a lot of Libra energy tonight. Which makes me want to go pull up the chart to see, like, what am I missing? I definitely think it's more about grounding and staying centered, staying balanced. It's going to be easy to get pulled into too much darkness, easy to get pulled into too much say anger, frustration, all of those energies. So staying centered and grounded is going to be key. All right, Libra, let's timestamp. Let's do 136 even. Again, the balance of the numbers is significant. So Libra, this is for March 8th through March 14th. I feel like I've been seeing those Libra scales all night long. So let's see what comes out for Libra with all of this cosmic influences happening this week. We have number 44, generosity. Again, the balance of the numbers. 24, universal heart is on the bottom. I do see the twin angels. This is about pouring into something. Perception comes out as your challenge or obstacle. Playfulness comes out as your lesson learned, Libra. And choice comes out. Fork in the road is what I'm seeing here for your potential outcome. Grace is on the bottom. I'm seeing something from a different perception. I think it's more about taking your mask off. Not pretending that something's no longer. I feel like you've been pretending that something's not bothering you for a long time. And maybe ignoring something. And I feel like this is the week where you start pouring into yourself. The choice is you choose you. That's what's happening here. All right, Four of Cups comes out, manifestation, having all the ingredients you need to get the things that you want. Choices comes out. You finally see all of your choices clearly. And then there's that Seven of Wands again. In the last reading, the Seven of Wands. Okay, so all Seven of Wands is about having healthy boundaries and protecting yourself. Many times, Seven of Wands in the different tarot sets are about building up walls where you're not letting people in, right? And that's what it was for the last reading we just did. What was it, Gemini? It was like the walls were up and the person was guarded. Maybe it was Capricorn. I can't remember now. Either way, it's the opposite. This is Libra letting the walls down. This is Libra choosing themselves, choosing happiness. All right, let's pull the soul's journey for guidance. Worry. I am learning that worry doesn't change an outcome. Doubt. I release the need to know all the answers. Look at this. Look at this. Balance. I bring a state of perfect harmony into my world, and I do so without judgment. All right, let's close it out with the Moonology Oracle for Libra. It's definitely going to be about bringing more balance into your life. The answers you need are coming. Full moon and Gemini, some twin energy. Nothing will come of the situation. Void, of course, moon. This could be an in-between moment. You could be overthinking something. Something hasn't quite started yet. Work through your fears. New moon and Scorpio. All right, I'm going to leave it right there. I hope that reading was helpful. Last one, guys. We've made it through the night all the way to Aquarius. All right, let's get to it. Aquarius, let's timestamp. Let's do 1:40:11. All right, Aquarius, this is March 8th through March 14th. Remember, we do have Venus and Saturn conjunct in Aries. We also have Jupiter going direct. I feel like that's the one for you, Aquarius. I'm hearing ding, ding, winner, winner, chicken dinner. And then we also have ongoing Mars in Pisces and Mercury retrograde in Pisces, definitely causing a lot of confusion and frustration. But for you, I believe this is going to be about karma. This is boomerang karma. Something you sent out into the world is coming back to you. Let's get energy of the week. We have Faith and Archangel Raguel. All right, so with these two cards coming out first, this is very spiritual reading. Archangel Raguel is like the police of the archangel. Whenever we see this card come out, it says there's been some type of disagreement, some type of argument, and Spirit has sent out like the popo in order to find the peace, right? All right, let's get challenge or obstacle. We have harmony. There's finding that peace. Lesson learned, grace. And potential outcome, there's that peace. So it's definitely about finding the peace this week, staying balanced, forgiving others in faith. Three of Coins is here. This is teamwork, partnership. This is you and God. There's no one else. 10 of Coins, grace. Grace is how you're going to accomplish what it is that you're trying to accomplish, which is about finding peace. And with your peace card as your potential outcome, 9 of Swords. You've been suffering through a lot of anxiety, maybe even depression. The Hanged Man is on the bottom. Aquarius, you're going to move out of the head space and into the heart space. You're going to do this through prayer. Through prayer, Aquarius. All right, let's pull some guidance. March 8th through the 14th. I have the fear card. I realize that I'm testing my resolve to live in the energy of love. We have happiness. I am aware that being happy means that I'm on the right path. And we have failure. I understand that a mistake is only an opportunity to learn. All right, Moonology to close it out for Aquarius. It's time to take action. New moon in Aries. This is April 17th on my birthday. New moon in Aries. Work through your fears. New moon in Scorpio. All right, Aquarius, I'm going to leave it right there. I hope that was helpful. That's it, guys. That is all 12 signs. I'm so happy we moved through them as smoothly as we did. March 8th through the 14th. Guys, if you're questioning like where is this week, or you want to check my accuracy, you can go over to my YouTube channel and you can find those readings under the live tab. All right, I will see everyone sometime this weekend. I'm assuming tomorrow, maybe Saturday. We do have the Mars Spring Flame current energy update to do this weekend. So, guys, if you're new, if you just found me, that you have your notification bell set to all so it lets you know when I go live. Remember, Tuesday, Thursday are our regular schedule. Tuesday, we'll talk about the astrology. Thursday, all 12 signs. Thank you, everyone, for coming in and hanging out with me. I appreciate all of you so very much. Thank you, moderators, for coming in and timestamps, right? Thank you, Lance, for kicking off our TikTok algorithm. Absolutely, always. And that's it, guys. I hope to see everyone this weekend when we do our current energy update. I'm always sending